I've never really had a particularly consistent approach to YouTube, but even so, for me to suddenly disappear back in February and not create any long-form horizontal videos since then is somewhat unusual, even for me. My last video was about feeling burnt out, so you can take a guess as to why I haven't been uploading. Yes, I've been struggling with burnout since about December 2022, but quite honestly, I think it started in the summer of that year. But because I loved what I did, because I got so much joy from it, I was completely oblivious. So what caused my burnout and how did I know? My husband would often say to me that I worked 7 days a week and that this wasn't sustainable. At the time, I was writing my non-fiction book proposal, writing on Medium, creating content on Instagram and on YouTube, and running the Confident Creative Club, my membership club for 30 to 40 creative women. I would check my emails regularly as well as DMs, and I had alerts on for the club's website, which was hosted on Mighty Networks. The app on my phone alerted me every time someone commented, sent me a DM, asked a question, and so on, which meant, other than sleeping, I was always on. Not only that, but in addition to writing my own stuff, running the club, doing the admin, dealing with payments and everything else that came with running a business, I was always available as a mentor to these incredible women as well. I would run writing sessions twice a day, 4 or 5 times a week, and each one ended in a mini mentoring session. I would also do monthly workshops as well. I loved it. It gave me so much joy, and I felt I was actually making a difference. I was helping people. Except I had no one to help me, no one to unload to, no one to listen as such, in a professional capacity, I mean. I absorb people's emotions. I want people to succeed, so I do everything I can. I take on everyone else's fears, anxieties, and so on. But I had nowhere to release them. I knew I had burnout when I took some time off before Christmas to see a beautician friend and get my nails done. When I had an awful panic attack, at least that's what I think it was. I was talking about the membership club at the time and the work that I still had to do before Christmas. It wasn't a pleasant experience. I called my friend in the car on the way home. I don't think I can run the club anymore, I said to her. Instead of making an immediate decision, my friend sensibly suggested I take some time off, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and to return after Christmas. So I did. And I have to say that wasn't one of my favourite Christmases. I had no energy, no joy for one of my favourite times of the year. And all I wanted to do was sit and stare at the television. Come the new year, I'm normally raring to go. I love the new start of January and September, but I still couldn't bring myself to move from the sofa. In fact, I pretty much stayed there for the entirety of January. I just felt numb, helpless, defeated, alone, very alone, no joy and no excitement. And the side effect of this meant an increase in anxiety and a huge increase in self-doubt. So how did I get myself out of burnout? Rest. Seriously, a lot of rest. And not feeling guilty for resting. Allowing myself to watch programs where I knew what was going to happen. The Big Bang Theory was helpful here. I've watched that and rewatched that so many times. I knew there was no stress involved, no suspense, no psychological tricks, just amusement and the following of the story, allowing my brain to switch off. I didn't force myself to read, but I did play Candy Crush. Yeah, I played Candy Crush for a lot of hours Again, it allowed my thoughts to just check out. I did manage to keep my Substack going during this time. I've got no idea how I did that. But I aimed for one post per week and often used old blog posts or essays I'd written some years ago and just edited them lightly to bring them up to date. It was zero pressure, yet at the same time, it did make me feel good. The fact that I was producing something, however small, gave me energy. It made me feel not like a complete failure. But everything else was ignored. Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. I didn't even read any novels. In fact, I knew I felt better a month or so ago when I picked up a novel instead of playing Candy Crush. What will I do differently going forwards? It's now August. As the year went on, I found I could do more each week. Sometimes this meant I worked one day, then took 2 or 3 or even 4 days to recover. But gradually the recovery time became less needed. I've just taken 3 weeks away from my desk and had a 1-week holiday during that time, and I'm now back, raring to go. I'm determined to crack on and do all the things I wanted to do in the first half of this year. Writing, producing books, building my Substack, and a return to YouTube and offering my mentoring services again. But there will be changes. For a start, I'm going to look around for my own coach or mentor. I'm not going to work 7-day weeks. This doesn't mean I'll stick to Monday to Friday, but I will take breaks. I'll read more, reduce the scroll, find some escapism, and allow myself to rewatch TV series so my brain gets to switch off. There's no guilt in rest. I'm not going to pile on the work, but I am going to get projects finished before I take on the next one. This means if I'm procrastinating due to lack of confidence or fears, something I often do, I need to keep working on that project with tiny steps, tricking my brain if needs be in order to finish. And yes, I'm looking at you, non-fiction book proposal. Before I start the next thing. I'm hoping this marks the start of my return to YouTube. Hopefully, I'll upload twice a month, but no pressure on myself if work gets too much. But it's good to be back.